T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man,
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
exclusive. Oh,
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, God love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
you are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world, and we are live and direct from the Reptile Super Show 2024 Pomona. I got USR Arc's, the new face of USR Arc, right next to me in the flesh. Jeremy, what is good, bro? I
We're on
couldn't
the
hear
West
you.
Coast, man.
You're on the West Coast.
Oh, you live here.
I've been here, dude. What is good with you, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm enjoying time in California, bro.
How does it feel to be at the Reptile Super Show for the first time?
Dude, it's insane. It really is insane. Like, it's probably one of the most crowded shows I've ever been to.
Now, volume-wise, as far as the space, it's one thing, right? But it's filled. Like this,
It's filled.
This show is filled.
It's filled. I figured when I was walking through during setup, I was like, okay, these aisles are pretty big. Shouldn't have too many congestion issues. And then I'm finding myself taking baby steps trying to walk through an aisle. I'm like, oh my God, it's packed.
Now, USR Arc and you have a lot of plans as far as you being at shows. I mean,
Yes.
Is your job, in a sense, kind of making the rounds and showing the face of USR Arc, I say, and just kind of mingling with the people? Well, what's the game plan behind you and shows?
Yeah, so to speak. So like right now I'm doing a lot of social media posts. So if you check out the USR Arc Instagram and Facebook, there's a
Yes.
couple of reels and stuff that have gone up.
Those links are in the description below. So make sure you follow USR Arc and make sure you go to usarc.org, read up, and understand why the numbers are important. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm just like taking stories, just kind of going around trying to highlight some cool animals from the show. So my job's kind of multifaceted. So obviously social media, doing some digital media creation, which hopefully you'll see some of that stuff popping up on like the newsletters and stuff like that. And then the biggest thing is coming out and kind of networking,
Right.
and just being an extra person that people can communicate with, especially for those people who, like, some people are just intimidated to go to Phil,
Right.
so I don't want to bother the guy or whatever. And
Right.
I'm like, hey, come bother me.
Yeah.
Don't bother. No.
No, but the thing is, it's true. A lot of people don't know how to approach Phil, even
Yeah.
though Phil's very approachable. It's one
He
of the
is.
nicest guys in the industry.
100%.
But you know how much he's working behind almost everything with USR, you know? So it's kind of awesome for people to have an outlet, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, if people have questions, but they also don't want to burden Phil with a question that's not, it's not legislative related or something, that's where I come in.
What's the most common USR question that you could think of that you're asked, you feel like?
Right now it's like, what do you do?
Who are you? What's your label, buddy?
Yeah. What are we calling you? I mean, the biggest one that I get asked is like, what's happening? Like, just what's going on right now? You know, we're at the beginning of the year. We've already got Louisiana with they're overhauling their reptile regulations in the state. And then obviously we have Florida amending that iguana ban to be from green iguanas to all species of iguanas.
Okay.
Which is crazy. But we also are now familiar enough with how this session works or how the years work. Where we know the beginning of the year is when we start seeing the most legislation coming through.
Right.
So that's the biggest question I'm getting asked right now is like, what's happening? Is there anything that hasn't been publicized yet that's coming through, or what's going on?
Right.
Which, as of now, there's not, thankfully.
Right.
But you know,
but we don't. That could be today. Tomorrow could be a whole other level.
100%. I mean, I remember
Okay,
at the.
Sorry, I don't mean to stop you, but Jeremy,
No,
how many things have you seen since being in the hobby that just came out of fucking nowhere? And you're like, what? Wait, we didn't see.
I
this
mean,
coming.
honestly, everything.
Right.
Like anytime there's ever been some kind of legislation popped up, I can think of maybe a couple that we've gotten wind of beforehand that we could really jump on. But most of the time, we're never given any warning about it, and they just come up out of nowhere.
Right. Now, what would you think the biggest goal for US Arc is? Like, you know, as far as connection to the community, like what would you like out of US Arc and the reptile community out of 2024?
The biggest thing is just spreading the word, right? So like that's kind of the biggest part of my position is just to be able to network with people. I be a face that they can remember, but also just to be like, you can come up to me and say, what does US Arc do?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. You know, I mean, we're at this huge reptile show, and I guarantee you not everybody in the room knows what US Arc is.
Right.
You know,
100%.
so that's the goal.
Right.
You know, for 2024 is to really increase the awareness and, of course, get those membership numbers up.
Yeah. You know, and you think, you know, as far as educating people on US Arc starts with the vendor. Like the vendor kind of should be asking anyone who buys a snake from them, do you know what US Arc is? Do you support US Arc? You'd say,
right. Or at least give something like in that box or in that sale, whatever you're doing. Yeah, just some kind, like a flyer or a postcard or something that has information about US Arc.
Right.
You know, because again, like if we don't plant that initial seed, they're never going to know what we do or why we're even here. They're just like, oh yeah, that's that booth with all the shirts and stuff.
Right.
You know, and that's it. And we're so much more, obviously.
How common is it even like with a lot of pet shops not knowing what US Arc is?
It's pretty common. And one of the things for me is like, when it comes to pet shops and we think about the people who maybe have one bearded dragon or maybe two leopard geckos, that they go to their local mom and pop shop to get some crickets or whatever. Those people are the forgotten soldiers, so to speak. Like those are the people that would 100% send an email like, no, I don't want my kids to not be able to keep that bearded dragon.
Right.
You know, so one of the biggest things we can do is start reaching out to those mom and pop shops. It's harder when you're talking about Petco's and PetSmarts and stuff. They have the corporate conglomerate behind them, you know, but these smaller mom and pop shops that have a oftentimes really dedicated clientele base.
Right.
Those are the ones that got to be like, hey, make sure you check this out, especially if you have something happening in your state.
Yep.
You know,
100%.
like, hey, check this out, man. We got to be aware of this. Like, send an email. Right. You know?
Is there any, I know you mentioned Florida, a couple other states, but is there any list of states that are kind of like on a danger zone list or anything like that you guys, and I'm not asking for you to say those states, but I'm just curious if there's even that kind of a heads up.
Right. Typically, no. I mean, we have certain ideas of like, for instance, like Connecticut for many years was proposing the same traveling animal ban.
Right.
And we kept killing it every year. Right. And they kept trying to bring it back every following year. So we kind of like can figure out those states that are really just trying to push something like that. But we never get any real heads up on stuff like that.
Now, you're no stranger to reptile shows. I know Super Shows is a different, you know, vibe for you, but
yeah.
Who do you think really is bringing in the bills? Who's racking in the dough at a show nowadays?
Tell you, it's not the ball python guys. You didn't think I was going to say it. No, you know what? I honestly think it's twofold right now. It's feeder people and cage builders.
Stuff that is needed.
The stuff that are needed. I was just having a conversation with a gentleman and his two sons. They're trying to start up a business and they're already working on breeding feeders and selling feeders. And I was like, that's the smartest thing you could do.
Because, I mean, if let's just say no matter what the market is doing, if you're providing something to that market, you're never going to be in a bad place.
Yeah, you have to fill a need. And that's exactly what I was telling them. Like, you know, you can sell a snake, you know, every day of the week, but people don't need the snake.
Right.
But if you already have a snake, you need the cage, you need the food, you need all of that stuff. Right. So if you can provide for that need, you can't go wrong.
Man, honestly, I can't go wrong by opening up this episode with Jeremy, the fucking man himself. But what plugins you, any shout outs you like to give to anyone out before you go?
Follow US Arc, absolutely. Of course, prayers and love to the Barczyk family. We all already know that. Yeah, make sure you've renewed your membership for US Arc for 2024 or get a new one if you don't have one.
Yeah. So not only subscribe and make sure you follow US Arc, but Brassman Reptiles, all right? Oh. Somebody you do not want to mess with when it comes to diversity in reptiles.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right.
Heck yeah.
Next, we got the man himself, the reason behind the Reptile Super Show. Yes, you. All right, you can catch him in San Diego driving a Tesla, but he's here. Rami from the Reptile Super Show.
What's good? What's good?
Shout out to the sponsor first and foremost. Thank you so much, Rami, for what you do. He's never been here before, and Jeremy, someone who's been to NARBCs, they're blown away how big this show is. They can't believe it.
It's pretty big this year. We went corner to corner. There's 400 booths, almost 720 tables, I think it is. There's 300 vendors. It's wild.
Right.
It's crazy.
But it's going to get even more wild, man. June is right around the corner.
It is.
Can you kind of elaborate what's about to happen after the Super Show?
So,
Reptile Pomona?
So at Pomona, June, we're putting on the LA Pet Fair. Something I created.
Wow.
I bought the .com 13 years ago with this in mind. We're going to have Reptile Super Show building. The next door, it's going to be the Aquarium Super Show. Then the next door is going to be the Bird Super Show. Then down the little side streets right here, it's going to be plant succulents, dog toys, dog leashes, treats, all pet. And we're going to put a fence around this whole property, about 6 acres.
Wow.
Funnel cake, pizza. It's a fair.
Right.
DJ out there making music. And it's going to be, not making music, playing music, you know? And it's
never know. He might make the song.
Yeah.
You never know.
We might get your music on there.
Yeah, I'll do it. Let's
you know?
do it. Yeah, man.
But it's going to be like you go to your local county fair, but this is the LA Pet Fair,
right,
where everything is exotic, cool pets, and you can come in. And my goal is, this is just between me and you. You guys don't listen. I want to get the aquarium and the bird people to come over and check out this fucking nightclub, what we got going on in here.
Check out that
and then they go, damn, this reptile shit is cool. And then they're like, let's get a snake. Let's go over and get this. Let's get, their little kid something. So that's what I want to do. I want to kind of bring that exotic pet industries over there, over here, and build our reptile industry that we love.
Man, from what I've heard, Rami, there's a lot of connection between bird, fish people, and reptiles, because they all either used to keep reptiles or they just started keeping reptiles, but we all belong together, man.
Yeah, I started out in aquariums, that was my first love, was aquariums.
Yep.
And then slowly, I did have snakes before my aquariums, but we all love all that, intertwined between different, everyone's got a dog and a cat, but who cares about that, You don't see a friend and I got a dog. Oh yeah, I got a dog. Let me tell you about snakes. Though it's like, hey, when you tell someone you got a snake, they always got a snake story for you. That's what's reptiles is so interesting, is that people always have something to tell you about reptiles. Where dog is just a dog. I got a dog. My neighbor's got a dog. Big deal.
All same story.
Yeah, all same story. So he lives in my backyard, eats food every day. That's the story.
Right. Now let me ask you this: no matter what the market is doing to the reptile game in a whole, there's still a bunch of new people coming in, right?
There is.
So what do you have to say to any new people who started vending, who are kind of worried and concerned about snake sales or sales as a whole?
Just do what you love. Like that. The guys that's most successful is the guy that loves what he has. That's the main thing. Is you got to have it here before you put it in your pocket.
It starts here.
It starts here, and you got to have it here during the whole time. If you're thinking about, I'm gonna make how much money, it doesn't work. And just know that you gotta love your species before you love what you're gonna make. If you love it, then it will love you back.
But without love, none of this is possible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Rami, I gotta say, I'm so excited to be a part of what you have going on. But more importantly, you bring so many people together, and it's just the beginning. Like, what's crazy, you've been doing shows for how many years now?
So I started in 2007. So we're like, I don't even know the math.
18 years.
18 years we've been doing this. This is show number 48. 48 I've done. I have 48 of these under my belt. And like you said, we're bringing everyone together. We're partying. We're having a great time.
Right.
The saddest time is on Sunday night when I'm driving home with my truck and trailer, and I'm like, my party's over. It's just like, damn, I got my 2-hour ride back home, just like thinking what a great weekend it was, but it's over. Yeah. But I can't wait till the next one.
But there's always a next one, man.
There is, yeah.
And guys, you should definitely do what you got to do to come to a Reptile Super Show. It's not like no other. And I've been to a lot of shows around the country. This is the best one yet. And the June show is here, and then Anaheim in August, or July, I'm sorry.
Anaheim in July. So it's the end of June and then end of July. Anaheim in July will be my 50th show.
Okay.
and that one's out the park. Get
All right.
ready.
All right,
Get
guys.
ready.
Follow the Reptile Super Show on IG and just be ready for the next show because it's amazing. Thank you so much, Rami.
Thank
I
you.
Appreciate it. Oh, Reptile Talks.
The Reptile Talks is a conference that we're putting together. It's May 18th and 19th. It's in Anaheim. It's $79 a ticket. It's a 2-day, all kinds of speakers, interesting stuff, species. It's not like college extreme zoo level, and it's not like, hey, my corn snake is not eating. It's right in between what all of us could understand. It's a great, you got to check out thereptiletalks.com. And there's a whole lineup of speakers. We got 19 speakers. It's great. 2 day of all reptile. There's an auction at night for benefit. And the whole thing that we're creating is all a benefit for US Arc. So every penny that me and Jay Summers and Armin from Herp Time make on this thing, we're all accumulating everything and we're donating it to US Arc. There's also going to be a really cool book that comes with it, like a little magazine booklet thing. Every speaker is going to have an article in there. It's super cool. You got to check it out, thereptiletalks.com.
Yeah, you guys are going to hear a lot more about it on the show. We're going to have Jay Summers on and Rami back on. But thank you so much, Rami.
Hey, thank you, man. Much love. Thank you.
Man.
Woo!
So we have Canada. It's a Reptile Super Show is global. Okay, it's a global event. We have Canada in the building. And what's awesome is this somebody I can always rely on when it comes to a smoke break. I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
My man. Royal Highness Python's in the building.
What's up, brother?
Austin, what's good, man? You're back.
Back in Cali.
No Lord.
No Lord, no
But you're-
Jaffe.
But you're here with you and your lady.
Yeah, me and my girl came. We had a good time here. I just love Cali, man.
Yeah.
It's nice being in the warm weather right now.
I feel like you're meant to be from Cali.
Oh, I think so too,
Yeah.
man. I smoke enough to be here.
Man, but what's it feel like to be back here at Pomona? We're in January, so it's not the summertime, so a little different vibe, but packed house. What do you think?
Oh, I like this. Like, I think everyone here, a lot of pet people again, like,
Right.
not too many people going for like really high investment snakes, but a lot of people with a really good passion for reptiles here. Like, even outside, I went to get some food and I saw some like new people like interacting with their reptiles and just seeing their face. It's just, and seeing how they interact, how interested they are, and how happy the snakes make them. It's just really cool to see.
Are you surprised on how many people notice you when you're here? Because I mean, a lot of people
Yeah.
aren't used to having like you around. You know what I mean? So, and I know a lot. YouTube is the future. Everyone fucks with YouTube.
Yeah.
And you've been a huge face for mutation creation and done a lot of great things with Billy. But dude, people are stoked that you're here. How does it feel?
Yeah, I'm surprised actually, like getting stopped, a lot of pictures and stuff. Like it's nice for sure. I like meeting new people, like interacting with them, like hearing their story and a whole bunch of others. Like it's just nice meeting a bunch of people, especially the people who smoke. Just go and have a smoke with them, interact, really get to know them.
So overall, do you feel like the market's in an okay place for you? I mean, because everyone has a different opinion, they have a different outlook as far as what's what. But how are you and the ball python market like doing? Like when it comes to you looking at everything right now?
It's definitely not COVID. It's nothing like it was in COVID. COVID
true.
was really good. I think it's not what it was before COVID either. It's a little bit low right now, but I'm sure in next year's time when interest rates go back up, because we have to realize people need to also feed their families,
Yeah.
pay bills, pay rent. That's
Small
why,
ain't cheap.
yeah, especially like nowadays, everything's getting really expensive, and people like reptiles are a luxury.
Yeah.
Especially like owning them, you have to be able to take care for them, pay for them, feed them, vet bills. Like, so I don't think it's bad that a lot of people are buying right now, but I think it's gonna go pick up again, especially in the future when interest rates go down
Right.
and everything's back to normal. The recession's gone.
So speaking of normal, one thing that's normal for you is fucking producing some heat, my guy.
Oh.
And the monsoon pied was kind of a big talk as far as when you dropped it. I want to know where that project is right now. What's there to look forward to this year and all that great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still the bread and butter, the monsoon project for you?
For me, it is. Like I just had a little bit of a shot. I had a shot before this.
I shock myself sometimes. I love it.
But I'm saying like the monsoon project, I still think Pied is really good in it. I just think I need to get away from pastel inside of the monsoon project because pastel monsoons watch out. For me, I sold all my pastel double het monsoon pie stuff off. Not because like I didn't want to work with it. I'm still working with the pastel pied het monsoon now. Kind of can't get away from the pastel fully. But I have a lot of pie stuff. I have a shot at Dream School monsoons this year and like a whole bunch of other triple recessive, like monsoon pie with another recessive in it. So hypo ones, everything.
Damn. So overall, what would be your goal as far as production sales go? Like, do you feel like you're not worried about sales and you're just waiting for a market maybe to show a little bit better turnover, or are you making stuff available for sale right now? Like, what's your game plan with letting stuff go?
I kind of haven't been marketing myself recently. Like the last 2 years, I haven't been going and putting snakes on like Morph Market. Even like I had a guy message me today, like, "Is your Morph Market down? I can't find you. My subscription expired. I haven't renewed it yet." And I'm thinking right now, like, the market's not the best. So like I'm having good sales in Canada, like not as good as COVID time, but enough sales where like I don't really have to push into the American market. I'm able to sustain the way I live, feed my collection. Like I'm not doing amazing, but I'm doing enough where it's okay. So I think it is going to pick up and become amazing for me and a lot more others.
Are you kicking back production-wise this year? Like,
No, I stepped up.
Wow.
I'm not scared. I
Love
think
it.
The reason is everyone is stepping back, right?
Right.
And
That's the time to fucking nope. Go all in.
if you're stepping back, when everything goes back to normal, the demand's going to go straight up.
You're behind.
You're going to have less supply. So especially in some projects, you know, a lot of people, they're doing some pairings where only they want one key animal from it.
Right.
And the rest is probably going to be for sale. They're staying away from those pairings now. I'm still going for it, and I'm still hitting those animals I need.
Yeah.
The rest can sell. I'll even wholesale them, but I'm still trying to go and make the stuff that's going to progress me in the projects I want to, and stuff that I think is going to be better for almost like the project for everyone else as well.
And I would say on the flip side of people who are not looking to want to produce right now, you better be investing.
Oh yeah,
Right now is the time to buy shit.
You said it. Yeah, you said it perfectly, man. Right now it's a buyer's market, so take advantage of these prices. You can get some crazy stuff. There's people who got into the same project that you're looking at right now for 3 times the price almost. So take advantage of it. It's a great time for buyers. Like I even went and bought some crazy stuff because I just couldn't say no. So if you have the money and you're able to do it, definitely jump on some opportunities.
So I have a wrap-up topic for you, and only because, you know, you dabble in the high-end game. You've been to shows in Canada, been to shows in America, man. But who do you think the ones vending at shows are the ones making money right now? Like, who's making the bucks? You feel
Like individual people?
I mean, just like as far as like, is it ball python breeders? Is it the bug people? Is it the geckos? Like,
I think that
who's really cleaning house at a reptile show now, or at a reptile show nowadays?
I don't know. Like in Canada, at least, we had a couple of small shows recently. A lot I have a bug guy as a friend, Ingoverts. If you want to check him out on Instagram, he has some cool stuff. But he's been selling. He does isopods. He's been pushing, like almost as good as the sales with the ball pythons. And that's, to me, that's like wow. But here, I've seen a lot of people walking around with lizards today, and I was very surprised.
Yeah.
Like in Canada, we don't have that many lizard sales.
Yeah, it's a little different in Canada. But ball pythons is the biggest thing in Canada.
Yeah, it's like here too. Like everywhere I'm going, majority of booths are ball pythons, but majority of booths still have majority of their snakes there.
Do you ever plan on maybe vending in a Cali show or in a show in America?
Oh, I have to get the logistics all like set up,
you're
but
down.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I hope I could.
Yeah, man. Well, I like I said, it's great honor and cool shock for you to be at the show. I didn't know you were rolling, but sometimes that's how players do things. They don't tell people what they're doing. They just do it, man. But yeah, for everyone to be on top of your stuff, Royal Highness Pythons on Instagram.
Yeah, Royal Highness Pythons. I'm starting to get back into YouTube again.
I was gonna say, what's up with the YouTube game, bro?
I just wanted to focus on breeding too.
Yeah, sometimes
and
you have to.
And like, I didn't want to show everyone. Like, I even took a hiatus off Instagram too. I didn't want to post pictures for a long time. And like, I kind of regret that because I made some heat that's too big to take a picture of now. It doesn't look as good as it was when I was a baby.
Right.
Or like it looks better, and I just don't want to show it off. But I think with YouTube now, I'm gonna start doing almost daily episodes. Like I have like 80 to 90 videos already recorded.
So you already have them done.
Yeah, they're in a vault. I just gotta go and edit. A lot of editing.
Dude, get that going, bro.
I'm still recording daily too.
Yeah,
so
good for you, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much.
Thanks for having me
Canadian
on,
homies, and guys, give it up for my homie Austin, man. Royal Highness Pythons, ladies and gentlemen.
Appreciate you having me on, bro.
Yeah, man, for sure. Got Emilio. Oh, there he is. Oh, Emilio's coming on eventually, but we got the best dressed individual. We're talking about the people's champ when it comes to the best dressed. Undisputed best dressed individual. Troy Schroeder, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. I just scarfed down a bunch of food in like a pot. So I'm hoping I don't have like pizza sauce on my face.
No, man. All I can tell is that jacket is looking very fly, my guy.
Thanks, man. This is what $37 will do for you. Amazon.
Dang, bro. How Here we are, another Pomona Reptile Super Show and another adventure of you being here.
Yeah. My adventure home is going to be an adventure, man. There's like a giant snowstorm coming in
Monday.
Like, yeah,
right?
so
and
if we
that's by the
take
time you
off,
get there.
yeah, so it's either like you stay a day and wait it out, or do I drive as far as I can Sunday night and hit it and wait it out? But it'll be interesting.
Now you're here. How's it feel? I mean, what's the vibe? For anyone out there is wondering, what is the Reptile Super Show Pomona 2024 in January like? What would you have to say?
Yeah, I think it's, whether you want to say it's normal or whether you want to say, I think it's a little bit busier than normal.
I think so.
Yeah, so you come into these things in a market, from a ball python standpoint, is you hear a lot of negativity, right? Like, we're all having this negative whatever. And I feel, so then you worry, like, what's the show going to be like? And so far, man, it's been great. Like, I would certainly be honest, and if it wasn't, and tell people, because I'd like to give that data to people, but it's really been a good show.
I got to tell you, Troy, I've been a big fan of you ever since meeting you at a show. But one thing I love about you is, like, you don't ever rub off a negative vibe. Even let's say you're not having a good show. You kind of always keep that on a positive note, because I feel like when you're that negative person, it rubs off. And
Absolutely.
People kind of remember you as that person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If I have a negative moment, man, it's behind closed doors, right? And like,
Lisa.
Yeah, like I have Lisa, like, oh, this is the worst show ever, blah, blah. And then you pick yourself back up. But yeah, I think you need to be positive and give people a good feeling about yourself. And if you're not, right, like people are like, oh, remember that guy last time? He was an asshole or whatever. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So
a lot of people are quicker to remember the asshole moments, not the hero moments.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, people are too. People judge people in their worst moment, and I really feel people should judge people. You shouldn't judge people in their worst moment.
Right.
And too many people do.
Right.
So.
Well, you never judged me on my worst moment because we're still friends.
Yeah, absolutely, man. If you make you're human, right?
Yeah,
Make some
we're all
mistakes.
human,
We all do it, and so, but yeah, man, you're always good in my book, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate
it. You reached out to me not too long ago, and we had a nice talk on the phone, and that meant a lot to me, and so. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and because it's easy to go a while without speaking to people, and I know we all have lives. I mean, but at the end of the day, like, you got to stay in touch with people who are important to you.
Absolutely.
And you're an important individual to me, man.
I
don't just say
appreciate
it on the
that.
show.
Yes,
I really mean
yes.
it.
Well, I feel the same way, man, and that did. It meant a lot. I got off the phone, and I was like, Lisa, like, you're not going to believe this, and I told her everything, and she was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And so, absolutely, man, yeah.
So from a rookie, I don't want to say rookie, but this is barely my first year vending. I think it's been a year as of today, all right? So from someone who's just getting their feet wet vending to a veteran, what are the boxes being checked to make a successful show for you?
I think you do everything the best way you can. So whether you're buying ARS displays or you're in deli cups, I think if you're in deli cups, maybe you buy the inserts, which is just so funny because I didn't put inserts in mine. They're in paper towels. I was in a hurry. I'm sorry. But I feel like if you do everything your best, right? So again, whether it's really nice displays or you're in a deli, try to find a way to dress it up, right? And whether you have a really nice background or you just find something inexpensive, just do everything the best way you can. Like it's people judge you. It's for a lot of first impressions, I think, in a reptile show. So people see your booth, they're judging you on your presentation. So I think, in my mind, and then each show, try to make it a little bit better because I think people notice that. And so that's been probably the biggest thing. People always come up like, oh, hey, you added this insert to your display, or hey, I love what you did with your background or whatever. So I think anytime you can upgrade yourself, continue to do that.
Right. Now, as far as market situational stuff goes, what are you making different maybe at your booth that you probably weren't doing during Pomona or during like COVID times? Like, we're in a kind of a, like, you got to kind of think outside the box right now. You know what I'm saying? So are you doing anything different right now?
I love that question. And I'm not. And I'm trying to find that out too. Like, I've been asking other vendors and stuff like, hey, man, what can we do different? And I don't know if I have a good answer for that. I think if you just put yourself out there and you're kind and, a lot of times, there's a lot of kids involved, a lot of families. And I think if you give them your time and you're not just blowing them off because they're not handing you dollars, I think that's a thing you can do differently at your booth. I think unfortunately, there's a lot of people that at a booth, sometimes it's about the dollars. And so they don't necessarily give you the attention. So I think that's something you could do differently. Right. But as far as like a really good answer, man, I don't have it. I don't know what it is yet.
Now, one thing that I respect ever since I started seeing you, Ben, is like you collab with people that you that you're cool with. And I think coming together, people can help you out. And do you feel like it's had an impact having like your own? I don't know what to call that, bro. I mean, it's big. You guys have a whole section, like beyond a section.
Yeah,
it's big.
You know, when I came here the very first time, it was 4 tables and like 4 of us, and it's growing. We now have 12 tables or something, I think it is, and there's whatever 5 or 6 of us there, and I think it's a lot of fun to vend with your friends, right? Or at least have even a friendly neighbor. It's nice to be able to have each other's back, be able to talk, grab lunch together, snack at the booth, help each other's customers. So that's been a big part, I think, for us, and it's been a lot of fun. We brought Chris from Epic Style this time. He does Leachianus and oh god, I can't think what it's called. Another gecko. Anyways,
like crested,
is it?
Chahua?
Chahua. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say it wrong.
You have all those at in your section right now.
Yeah, so it's all of us ball python guys.
Sorry.
So Chris from Epic Style. Yeah, he's out of the Kansas City area, and so yeah, great guy. He's same thing. Puts about 22 hours into this drive, and so it's a gamble for everybody. When you're again, it's not necessarily about the dollars.
No.
I think there's a lot of marketing value out of a show, and so, but a guy like that, you put yourself out there first time, and he sold a couple. Jalen,
Turner,
UFC guy.
Is he here?
He's over there right now, looking at maybe buying a lychee from Chris. He's been asking a lot of questions.
I heard that guy's a real deal herp. Like he's a nerd reptile.
Yeah, dude, it's cool. Yeah, so he stopped by and he just loves the lychee still over there. So hopefully that's really cool for him, and what a neat moment. So
other than the Reptile Super Show, is your show schedule on the same par level as last year? Like, are you doing as many shows this year as you did last year?
Still do, we'll do both Reptile Super Shows now in June. I'll do all the NERBC shows, and then we'll do a couple Reptilian Nation shows.
Wow.
So, yeah, so far so good.
What is it that you feel like is necessary morph-wise to have at your table? Like where it's like, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but it always does good.
Yeah, I'm going to say the pied side of things from a ball python standpoint. And I think anything that's like OD yellow belly, super ODs, like stuff that's got a lot of color, inchy pieds, like the pet market or the lower end, mid end stuff, like sells really well at pretty much any show.
Right.
So I think if you're looking for some sales to kind of help move yourself along, and you have that stuff, I think that would be a way to go.
Production wise for you, what's it going to look like this year?
Yeah, I at first was going to taper off. But to be honest, I think I'm gonna cruise right through. So we've always done somewhere between like 50 and 65 clutches. I'll probably shoot for 60. Okay. If I end up at 50 something, I'm happy with that. But I don't think I'm gonna pump the brakes. I think I'm gonna try to maybe breed some better, maybe some better breeding plans. But as far as overall, I'll probably try to breed for the same.
Now, have you been advising a lot of people as far as because I'm sure you've been around so long, people are asking you like what they should possibly do this year. And what's your advice for anyone out there who's like, they have what it takes to produce stuff, but they're not wondering if it's a good idea or not?
Yeah, it is. I think if you look at the overall ball python market, there's obviously it's oversaturated. I'm not going to say it's not. And I think from a standpoint that could all of us breed less and that would maybe fix the industry? Absolutely. I don't know how you would achieve that. Right? There's so many breeders, whether they're breeding 5 clutches or 3,000 clutches. There's just too many people. So I feel like do your thing, right? But be prepared. If the sales are slow and stuff, you might be feeding animals a lot longer than you're expected and cleaning and stuff like that. So I think, as long as you have that in your head, like you understand that you have a commitment to those animals, breed as many as you like, right? But I think the other thing is, really in the ball python side of things is probably pairing for the best thing you can, and let your byproduct, be the mid end, low end. I don't think you want to breed necessarily a ton of low end stuff. Like it can be hard, right? So I think obviously breed for the best you can. Let your byproduct be whatever, and roll with it.
Personal question. It wasn't scheduled to ask you this, but I want to know, where's Monarch at with you right now?
Yeah, love hate.
Really?
Yeah, it's done well. I mean, I've sold some stuff like. I put a lot of dollars into it, and I thought from a breeder standpoint, this is like the next best thing ever. And it has been good, but I like to be honest with people. So when I say I love hate, it's been off and on for me as far as how the sales side of it's been and how the ball python, market has looked at Monarch, right? Like sometimes it's very much ultra male looking. Sometimes they look completely different.
Right.
And so I feel like it's something that it's going to come down to probably price getting closer to each other, and then combos. One's going to look better than the other.
Right.
And when we get to that stuff, we'll see what happens.
I mean, because I just spoke to somebody about this not too long ago about, like, let's just, if we were to put ultra male next to Monarch on a graph chart, ultra male's quite ahead of the game, right? There's been a lot more examples of ultra male, which makes it even more exciting for Monarch because we have a lot yet to see. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say be honest, like Monarch clowns, I don't think look as good as ultra male clowns. But does a Monarch, blah blah, look better than a ultra male, blah blah blah? So I think that's where we'll start to see some differences as you start to see some gene stacking.
Right.
So that's
to be continued.
Yeah, to be continued.
All right. My final topic question for you: who do you feel like is making, like, who are the ones making the big bucks right now during the market? And is it the ball python people? Is it the bug people? Is it the substrate people? The cage people? Like who in the show circuit are the ones that are just killing it right now?
I try to talk to a lot of like other vendors and stuff to get some of that info. The bug people seem to be doing pretty well. Like I love, there's little Luke down the road here from you on this side of the wall. Kid's like 13, right? He's selling orchid, praying mantises and stuff. I mean, they're
That's
so
just
cool.
down here?
Yeah, he's straight down. He's like 13 years old, man. The kid is awesome.
Wow.
But talking to like the bug and spider people and stuff, it seems like their market is pretty strong. Chris talks a little bit about the lychee and like gecko side of things. Seems pretty normal, pretty solid. I think that the high-end ball python market seems pretty steady, pretty good. If you go to MORPH market and you type in that stuff like 500, 1,000, 1,500, 4,000, when you get to like $2,500 and above, it's like down to like 4,000 animals. So like 10% of the animals on there are $2,500 and above, right? So I think the high-end market, if you call it that, at that dollar amount, that seems pretty protected in my world. But yeah, I don't get to talk to a lot of like boa guys and stuff, so I don't really know a lot about that. But I certainly think the bug and it seems like the gecko world and stuff is pretty strong. So yeah.
Nice, man. Well, you know what? I want to tell you what's strong is your appearance, your dressing
appreciate
skills. You did make quite the name for yourself, just always having that, I would say, characteristic about yourself, man. But you fit you well, and you really are all about it.
I appreciate it.
And I do want to take this second to say shout out to Troy's new podcasting venture. Shout out to Late to the Mic.
Thank you.
Shout out to Patrick from how do you say that name?
Chimera.
Reptile.
I say it always wrong too, but it's Chimera.
And then Chase.
Yep, Chase. Yep, at Canova. Yep. So the three of us. Yeah, it's been kind of fun.
Yeah.
Started on kind of a whim, and it's been a fun adventure. And so yeah, we enjoyed it. I had a podcast called Off Track with Troy 2 years up to COVID. So like 2018 to 2020.
Okay, cool.
And I would meet with people and talk about their, like, overcoming their differences or things like that.
Right.
And when COVID hit, man, I like to be in front of it. I don't like to necessarily do it online.
Right.
I want to be in front of you, and it might be a cheerful moment or something very passionate to you.
Right.
And when COVID hit, man, I just lost all that passion. So it's been nice to, like, those guys pushed me a little bit to come on, and it's been fun.
Yeah, man.
So,
well, if it's one thing the reptile podcasting world needs, is good quality content. And I've heard nothing but good things about your guys' podcast.
I appreciate it. We'll have to get you on there.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Late to the
Yes,
Mic.
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Stress balls on Instagram, MORPH Market. I mean, the best way to people be on top of your stuff would be IG, right?
Instagram and MORPH Market is probably the two things I update the most.
Cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate
it,
you.
man.
Thank
Yes,
you so
thank
much,
you.
man. All
We're
right.
going to see that baby?
Yeah, we're going to see him. Hopefully see him soon.
All right, buddy.
All right,
I'll see you later.
so
Thank
much.
you.
All right, we're going to wrap these up with my dog, Big E Top G, Emilio Villarino, repping the B-Unit family out of Florida, drinking a Bruja.
What's going on?
How you doing, big dog?
Great, bro.
You're here.
Yeah.
We don't talk about this for about a year now.
Yeah.
And here you are in the flesh. Tell me what you told me. Tell them what you just told me as far as what you think of the show.
Well, what I would say is logistically, I believe that this might be, well, not might be, it is the best run show I've seen.
Wow.
Great signage, great venue. I've heard great advertising.
Yep.
This place is packed to the bone.
It really is.
Okay. That's, what else can you say?
Yeah.
If I was vending here, I'd be very happy.
Right. And like I said before on the show earlier this week, that's what you're kind of scouting things right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Logistics is one thing you're trying to get together right now.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out, man. We're gonna come out here and we're gonna vend right next to you, bro.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What's up, Reunit Trap fam? Let's go.
Let's go. What do you think of the availability as far as snakes go? Like the vendors here. I mean, you seen any crazy heat or what's going on as far as the eye candy here?
I've seen some pretty cool stuff, man. Josh Jackie has some nice stuff.
Josh.
Troy has some nice stuff. Portuguese Pythons has some nice stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Renee and Danny, man.
DCR.
Yep. Shout out to Randy.
The Bomber.
Yep.
The Bomber's got some stuff.
Yep. KG.
KG.
Yep. Got Matt Byram in the building.
Yeah, Matt Byram.
Dave Levine.
Dave Levine, yeah, man.
All right here, right in front of me, too.
I mean, J&G.
Junior. Got Junior
I
here?
met Junior.
Damn.
He's got some bomb shit, man, over there, bro.
So, okay, let me ask you this. You're meeting a lot of people who are taking the commute across country to be here.
Yeah,
so it's not it's not like an unfeasible thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Tiki Geckos here.
Yeah, mad flex, bro. To come across the country and meet people, sell people snakes across the country, mad flex.
Now, I bet a lot of people are thinking like, well, how the hell does somebody in Florida get to the SoCal and bring their animals? And I know you've been doing a little bit of homework on that. What do you feel like is going to be the go-to when it comes to you vending here? Do you feel like you're going to cross country it with a bunch of snakes, or you feel like you're going to fly in?
I mean, I'm a control freak, man. I'm leaning towards having control of my whole situation,
right?
But I'm going to definitively look into the cargo shipping aspect of everything. We'll see. Right now, I'm leaning on having control and not, driving out, with another vendor to split cost.
Right.
But we'll see, man.
What would you say differently is the vibe here compared to a show that you've done in Florida? Because you have West Coast, East Coast, and there's always a different vibe, I would say. But what do you notice?
Honestly, there's a real similarity between what I'm seeing. It's not that different. People love reptiles, man. Right. I mean, I don't see much of a difference. What I see is a difference in how the show organizer is a pro.
Right.
He's a pro. This guy is on point.
Sure does.
That's what I see, man. Mainly.
Yeah. No.
Oh, and different vendors.
Definitely.
You got vendors from this side of the country, this region. So
how do you feel? Like, what does it feel to be on the West Coast and be noticed, and just people like, oh shit, like being happy that you're here? Because I mean, I saw a handful of people walk up to you and be like, what the fuck,
It's great. It just shows the impact that we're having. Overall, with your brand, with your podcast, my brand, what I've built throughout the years, and we've combined this. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Doing this together now, it's been great. What else can I say?
What would you say the biggest thing for you, success, like what makes a successful show for you in your eyes?
I like to meet a lot of people. I like to increase my customer base, of course. Everyone likes to make money.
Right.
What I could say is I'm kind of spoiled. I usually have good shows across the board. I work them hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I grind them.
The vendor makes a good show, right?
Yeah,
it's not
man.
The show, it's the vendor.
You got to know what your customers want. You gotta work the table, man, and you gotta have good stuff. You gotta have different tiers of different tiers, different levels of the ball game, pretty much.
Yeah.
And going forward, I'm gonna take some of the tips from you, man. I'm gonna have a couple different species here and there. Seeing everything at the trap, all your different species, man, it's inspiring.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's kind of cool because you've always gave me props, but like for you to actually physically be here and see it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, dude, pictures and videos can kind of be like it might not be what it seems. Like
it doesn't show the full picture.
It doesn't show
sometimes.
like how clean really is that facility, or like what are they really doing?
Yeah.
And you saw it all, man.
Yeah, man. Beautiful. It's amazing. It's inspiring, and that's where you're at. That's why you are where you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm loving the West Coast. What else can I say?
You gonna do anything different as far as breeding plants this year? Like, obviously we were just talking to talking to Austin, and I was just talking to Troy, and he was saying how like the low end stuff is not really stuff to be worried about making because it's all over the place. You focus on bells. As far as like when it comes to like providing stuff to the pet trade, are you going to keep that going? Like, do you feel like the bells is something that you're not worried about overbreeding because you know that it's going to sell, or
Well,
are you
for
making
me,
adjustment
for
there?
me, my approach is simple. I want to have every tier. I want to have everything. I do this for a living. I'm connected to bells. They're special to me. But I have a little bit of everything. I'm going a little bit more into the investment side, you know, with my Exantic stuff.
Right.
I have a little bit of everything. I don't mind that. And I'm grinding, bro. I'm doing 25 shows a year.
That's fucking a grind, bro.
20 to 25 shows a year. I need to have, you know, my stuff popping and available.
Right.
What I would say is I've got some foundational projects for myself going, you know, going to be breeding this coming season. I'm really excited. I'm going to be breeding for a lot for me,
Right.
you know, as well.
You think it's smart to be doing that right now?
That's the way to go. You know, you got to be breeding for that next generation of animals.
You got people right now that don't want to breed because they're just scared to breed.
Well, I mean, you have to breed
to
continue to get better and to take your ball game to another level. You have to put in place those plans that you set up the last couple of years, right? And if you can't, you have to move on from those plans.
I mean, if you're not breeding and you're kind of at stalemate, you're kind of just so you should be investing if that's
you lose a year. Right. You know, if those animals are not breedable, maybe that project is not something you want to do going forward, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
now for you personally, what is it that what's crazy is you ask a lot of people this question, so I want to ask you, what is it this year that is like the one project you're looking to kind of make connections with? Like, it could be something you haven't made yet, but anything that stands out as far as project-wise that you're looking to be successful at in 2024?
I'm doing foundational stuff for myself with my white lace yellow belly, breeding him hopefully to some double recessives, some monsoon stuff, double het monsoon, ultramel monsoon, Exantic monsoon, stuff like that. Hets to get me in that ball game, pretty much going forward. What else?
How aggressively are you going to be attacking the True Ghost project?
Oh well, that's my baby. That's a project that I feel like is going to start to really gain traction across the industry. I love it. I'm going to be working DG into that. Maybe monsoon puzzle. Man, I'm really excited about that project.
Now, anything that you're not really too excited about?
Be more specific.
Okay, let me ask you this. Like there's a lot of things we try to accomplish in a year, right?
Yeah.
But we also have our unsures. And what I mean by that, like you could have a project that might not fulfill what you want it to fulfill. For instance, if you're going head to head or something like that, just kind of like a far-fetched pairing. Like, do you have any of those, like shooting for the moon type pairings?
Man, I got a couple males that are just not doing their job. I think that's pretty much it for me.
So what do you do in that case?
You have to have a backup plan in that situation. And I do have one, you know. So we'll see. So it might have to do with sunset.
Like you said, it's a foundation year for you based off what you have in plan for the future. So in a sense, you're looking to hold shit back this year.
Definitely, yeah.
You're trying to be your best customer.
Yes, absolutely. I have a lot of that this year.
Right.
So I'm really excited. I put some money into the business, and now I got some new stuff coming in. And then next year it's going to be even crazier. So what I would tell people out there is that this is how you have to run your hobby/business. You have to always have stuff to look forward to every year, a foundational step forward.
Right.
You got to do that. You got to have plans. You know.
It's cool to see you in person as far as being behind a table, and you've been helping me out, and I appreciate it. But I feel like you have a lot to teach when it comes to being interactive to people who come to your table, because it's a lot more than just vending, setting up, and just standing behind the table, saying hi, communicating. Like, do you feel like that's a huge importance to being successful?
You got to be a people person. You got to talk to your potential customer. Get to know them. Get to know what makes them tick, what they like.
Right.
Why are they here? Obviously, they probably they're thinking about buying a reptile or getting into our industry, right? So keep them at your table. Talk to them. Let them know who you are, and you're interested in helping them out.
What would you? And this is gonna be a wrap-up topic for you, and I'm just curious what your thoughts are as far as who you think is really killing it at reptile shows, either like rodent companies or enclosure companies, or even a ball python breeder, or like, is there anyone that any demographic within the reptile community you feel like is really killing it in the show circuit right now?
Well, what I would tell you is people selling the dry goods or the enclosures needed for said reptiles do well, even though that's a very low profit percentage, right?
Right.
But people that are professionals in their part of this industry, I think they always do well. Yeah. People that have variety, people that like yourself, you've got some retics, some super dwarf retics on the table. You've got some stuff you're flexing with. You got some pies. You're trying. You have a diverse table. Diego's got some Ackies.
Yeah, I want to give props to Diego. What he brought to my table is probably the biggest stopper. He brought an enclosure full of Ackies, 5 Ackies, and I think only 2 are available now. I gotta tell you, he's killing it.
He's doing good. He's doing good, man.
Great, man.
So yeah, variety's key, man. Going forward, you don't want to have a table that's just full of really high-end stuff. You want to have a little bit of everything. So,
last thing I do have to ask you, because one of the biggest things I was looking forward to on your visit was you to meet Mark Bailey. Because you know how important Mark Bailey is to me, and I feel like he's even more important to you now because you guys have that little bit of bond. You guys spoke, you guys went back and forth. But what do you have to say about you meeting Mark Bailey, and what do you think of Mark Bailey?
The guy's amazing. We've been texting most of the day. I really like him. Now I could call him my friend as well. The guy's a wealth of knowledge.
Definitely.
He knows his shit. 34 years in the game. Everyone out there that's new in the game, man, have respect for people that have really done this. People that have, solid, they've done real things, learn from these people. Get with them, talk to them, They're open to that,
And Mark is someone who doesn't want anything from nobody. Like, he's not looking for clout. He's been behind the scenes providing everything to the hobby for a long time, bro. He's one of the most humbled individuals I've ever met. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be, there's a lot of pretenders out there, man. They're pretending like they know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. Go with experience, guys.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Man, what an awesome time. And I want to say it's been a great Saturday Reptile Super Show here in Pomona. What would you like to say to anyone out there who's maybe considering coming to a Reptile Super Show but think maybe it's too far, maybe it's not worth it?
You got to come out here, man. First of all, California's amazing. If you don't live in Cali.
Come to San Diego, though. I'm telling you.
It's breathtaking.
Please.
The views are breathtaking.
You can't come to LA and say, I went to Cali, I went to LA. No, that doesn't count. I'm telling you.
You got to come out here. The Reptile Super Show is amazing. If you're in this game, you got to come out here. You got to come out here and travel out here and see this show, man. It's amazing. Yeah, and KG's telling me, you got to come to Anaheim. It's double. It's even bigger.
Yeah.
Now, so maybe I'll figure that out too,
And I just talked to D, and D and KG had that reptile breeder show that they did in December. They're brewing up another one before December.
Awesome.
So
Sweet.
Big things to come, man. And I can't wait to have you back here in SoCal. But guys, as always, go follow my man, Villarino Reptiles on IG. Go subscribe to the V Unit family. Shout out to the V Unit family first and foremost. Anyone who supports this guy, thank you so much. This guy is one of the best in the game. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And guys, that's all we have on this live from the Reptile Super Show. If this is your first time tapping in with us, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Select all. You'll be on every single podcast we drop here. And thank you so much, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I know we're gonna have a good time. So
hey, go.
Hey, have a good night, everyone. We're calling it a wrap here. And drop a comment if you are here at the Reptile Super Show. But yeah, man, we'll catch you guys here Monday night for New Breed on the Block. Actually, no New Breed on the Block. I'm taking Monday off for personal reasons. But listen, I got PTO. See you here Tuesday. All up in the tree Tuesdays. Shout out to all the love and support. Again, Brian Barczyk, we love you. We're rooting for you. All the Barczyks, you're in my heart. Have a good night, everyone. See you at the top. Gee.